The storm came without warning. Wind tore through the Montana pines like something alive, something hungry. And beneath that howling darkness, another sound cut through, a sound that made Flint stop mid-step, every muscle frozen. The crying of pups. Flint was a bobcat who had learned to ignore such things. 2 winters ago, fire had taken everything from him, his mate, his kittens, the den he had built with his own claws. Since then, he moved through the forest like a ghost. No connections, no attachments. Survival meant solitude, and solitude meant safety. But this sound, this desperate, trembling cry, it pulled at something buried deep inside him, something he thought the fire had burned away forever. He followed the sound through the blinding snow until he found them. A wolf lay on the frozen ground, her grey fur matted with blood. An illegal trap had closed around her leg, the metal teeth buried deep. 2 small pups pressed against her body, shaking, crying, too young to understand that their mother was dying. The wolf's amber eyes found Flint's golden ones. In nature, this moment should have meant violence. Wolves killed bobcats. Bobcats avoided wolves. 1,000,000 years of instinct screamed at Flint to run, but the wolf did not growl. She did not bare her teeth. Instead, with the last of her strength, she pushed her pups toward him, not as a threat, as a gift, as a prayer. Her eyes held his for one final moment, and in that silence, Flint understood what she was asking. Take them, save them, be what I cannot be anymore. Then her head lowered to the snow, and she was gone. If you believe that love can cross any boundary, then you are exactly where you belong. Subscribe to Eternal Bonds and join a community that celebrates the extraordinary connections that make life beautiful. Now let me tell you what happened next. The pups would not stop following him. Flint tried to leave. He turned away 3 times, but each time the smaller one, a female with fur like smoke, stumbled after him on legs too weak to carry her. And the larger one, a male with eyes like storm clouds, positioned himself between Flint and his sister, growling with a courage that was almost funny coming from something so small. They had nothing. No mother, no pack, no chance. Flint knew what that felt like. He led them to his den. The first weeks were chaos. Flint did not know how to care for wolves. He brought them prey, but they could not chew it. He tried to keep them warm, but they needed more heat than his body could give. The female, whom Flint began thinking of as Ember, ate little and shivered constantly. The male, Storm, watched Flint with suspicious eyes, always positioning himself between the bobcat and his fragile sister. Flint almost gave up. 3 times he walked to the entrance of the den, ready to disappear into the night and leave these impossible creatures behind. But each time, Ember would make a small sound, not a cry, something softer, a whimper of trust. And Storm would lower his guard just enough to let Flint see the fear beneath his bravery. They needed him, and somewhere in that needing, Flint began to feel something he thought had died in the fire. Purpose. Winter deepened. Food became scarce. Flint hunted for 3 now, but the forest offered little. His ribs began to show beneath his spotted fur. Storm grew weaker. Ember stopped playing altogether. One night during the worst blizzard of the season, Flint made a desperate choice. He left the pups in the den and ventured into the storm to hunt. He found a rabbit, but a buck caught him with its hooves as he moved through a clearing. The blow opened a wound across his shoulder that painted the snow red. Flint crawled back to the den, certain he would die there. But when he collapsed inside, something unexpected happened. Storm, the pup who had growled at him for weeks, began licking his wound, cleaning it, caring for it the way wolves care for injured pack members. And Ember, tiny, fragile Ember, draped her body across his, sharing what little warmth she had. The creatures Flint had saved were saving him. Spring arrived like a promise kept. The snow melted, prey returned. And the pups were no longer pups. Storm had grown tall and strong, his grey fur thick and healthy. Ember had lost her fragility, replaced by a quiet resilience that made Flint proud in ways he could not explain. They had survived. Together. Then one morning, a sound echoed through the valley. Distant howling, a wolf pack moving through the territory. Storm lifted his head. Ember did the same. Something ancient stirred in their eyes, something that did not belong to Flint. The call of blood, the pull of their own kind. Flint understood. He had always understood that this moment would come. He could not teach them to be wolves. He could only keep them alive long enough to find wolves who could. He led them to the edge of his territory, where the howling grew louder. Storm and Ember stood at the boundary, torn between the world they knew and the world they were born for. Storm turned back first. He approached Flint slowly, then pressed his forehead against the Bobcats. A gesture Flint had never taught him, a gesture that wolves reserve for family. Then Storm walked toward the howling and did not look back. Ember stayed a moment longer. She touched her nose to Flint's, a soft goodbye that carried more weight than any sound could hold. Then she followed her brother into the trees and disappeared. Flint sat there until the sun set and the howling faded to silence. He was alone again. But this time, the solitude did not hurt. It held something warm inside it, something that felt like peace. That night, a chorus of howls rose from somewhere far away, and Flint, the bobcat who had lost everything, lifted his head and listened. He did not howl back. That was not his way. But for the first time in 2 winters, he closed his eyes and slept without dreaming of fire. I want you to think about something. Flint did not ask for those pups. He did not want them. He had every reason to walk away, but he stayed. And in staying, he found something he thought was gone forever. Maybe that is what love really is. Not the love we choose, but the love that chooses us. The love that arrives uninvited and refuses to leave. If this story touched your heart, leave a comment and tell me about a bond that changed your life. I read every single one. And if you have not subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to join this family. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another story. Thank you for being here. Thank you for feeling this with me. Until next time, remember that even the hardest hearts can learn to love again. All it takes is something small enough to slip through the cracks.